to enter a world of true crime. From cold cases to serial killers, missing persons, and more.
100% he did this.
I'd go off into fantasy world.
How much more lucky can you get that you're not on death row?
You want to know what we know.
My name is Jay. This is Guilty of Crime.
Hello, everybody. It's Jay with Guilty of Crime. As you can see, I am, even though I planned this, I still had a, still scrambled to do it. And yeah, there's a whole bunch more information that I just keep seeing that's streaming out there. And as we know, the case has a lot of information that was never added into the video yesterday. However, I did get a lot of good feedback about it because there was a lot of information that people didn't know that was new, the body language, but there's just so many more things. I mean, I'm watching other channels and there's just hours of content, which is absolutely insane how many hours they sit on there and just talk about that. So very interesting how that goes. There's just a lot of information about the case, and people have a lot of opinions. It's just like a split. It's almost like a 50-50 split where people feel bad for the mom. They think that she's being abused, and the reason that she let me see if I can try and keep this up there so you're not just seeing my face and you could see who we're talking about today, because that's really what I want to do. Same image from yesterday, but I really want to make sure everybody knows. I zoomed in a little too much, who we're talking about and the case. So there's such a split that it's interesting, and there's so much information that we can talk about it all day. I want hopefully you guys to weigh in and ask questions as we go, because I found new content. And also I actually talked to Sweetie Pie Low, who has a channel, and asked her if I can use her video to talk about and go over with you guys and use clips. And she was like, absolutely, girl. So that's awesome. That's what it's about, the true crime community, and reaching out, connecting. So I want to say hi to everybody here. Carly, always hello. Thank you for helping me with these crazy comments that come on here sometimes and everything else. Juror 13, thank you. Sadie's mama. And I knew Juror 13 would be here with me. I thought I might be alone talking to myself, but Juror 13 always comes through. Carly does, but if Greeno's on, then she's out. We know where her loyalty lies, and that's amazing. Those are the people that I love, all of you. So I don't know how much anybody's seen, but I found things that we're digging a little deeper. Now, it's still very much in question whether we're going to see an arrest soon. I want to also, before we get into that, did you guys see that that Kayla Montgomery is going to get out? Anybody see that? I just saw a news break that says that she made parole. So if that's true, if somebody can take a look at that, let me know. Because if she's made parole, that means she's going to be out. And I wonder if she's going into hiding. Yeah, she is. Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, oh, maybe I should switch topics. But I'll do another video on that. That was crazy. Now, with this Madeline Soto stuff, it just goes so deep. It seems like so many people knew Stephan Sterns, and they had a lot to say about him in so many different ways. I'm going to talk about him later, and I'm going to go over the affidavit at the end of this. So it's really gruesome. So if you want to stick around for that, you can. If you want to drop off, you can drop off. But what the topic is today is Madeline Soto's mom knows more. I'm going to say that. I think that that's my opinion and lots of other people's. And will she be arrested today? How much time is it going to take them to write up paperwork to say that she lied to them? Look at what they did with Look what they did with Kayla Montgomery, what she got arrested for. So how long before we think that she gets arrested? Anybody have any opinions about that? It could be, yeah. I can see right here parole hearing. She got granted parole. She's gonna have a heck of a time. I just switched to Kayla Montgomery, but getting back to Maddie, I found a bunch of things and more opinions, and yeah, I want to talk about it now. What I want to say about Madeline Soto, or I'm sorry, yeah, Madeline Soto. We're gonna keep track of what we're talking about. Her and Jen Soto. One thing, and I hadn't noticed that she didn't attend her own daughter's vigil. So our topic today is, does she know more? I think my thing is Madeline Soto's mom, Jen Soto, knows more. I'm confidently going to say that. Okay. Whoever doesn't agree with me, that's okay too. Will she be arrested today? If not, how long is it going to take for it to be another Kayla Montgomery situation where at least they put her behind bars for lying? I don't know. Look, check this out. So we're going to skip around, but we're still talking about the same thing. There's a vigil 5 days ago for her daughter, and she wasn't even there. She wasn't there. If somebody else has information about that, let me know. As far as I'm concerned, number one thing, she wasn't there. Number two, we're going to play another video of her, and that was the other video that I didn't play last night. Within 24 hours, she was already talking about looking for a body, essentially, and very worried. And she called 911 immediately. Now, when we're talking about like Elijah Vu, for instance, we're still holding out hope. And I also have 2 other clips of her family speaking. I have Maddie's aunt talking that still had hope before we found her body, obviously. And I have Maddie's grandma who speaks Spanish on a news station. And we're going to hear what she's going to say. I'll kind of just tell you what it is when we get to it, because I don't speak Spanish. If anybody else does, they can tell me, but I know what she's saying. So we got 2 family members we're going to hear speak. Both of them, you're going to see how much different they look than, not even just look, what their emotions are and how different their perspectives are, not knowing what happened. So let's watch this quick little vigil thing, because we're going to remember Madeline Soto. That's what we're here for. So vigil for her, and friends, remember her. We're going to take that time to remember her. And now that we know she's not here, especially, let's do that. So let me stop what I have now and show you this, and show you that her mom wasn't there. And if somebody knows that she was, please correct me, but I don't think so.
Coverage with West Paula Tristan Aruda. She is live near Hunters Creek Middle School, where the community gathered for a candlelight vigil in honor of Madeline. Paula.
Stuart, what was expected to be a community prayer in hopes of bringing Madeline Soto home turned into a vigil as people came out to remember her. And even though it's still one of those situations where people are still trying to come to terms with what happened, a lot of people came out here tonight to pray and to mourn.
Father God.
A community grieving the death of one of their own, still trying to come to terms with the fact that 13-year-old Madeline Soto is gone.
I didn't know Maddie personally, but it still hurts me because it really could have been any of my friends. But she's still one of I feel like she's family.
Religious leaders held a vigil at Hunters Creek Middle School Friday night, the same school Maddie was supposed to show up to on Monday, but never made it.
The Bible teaches us that we have to cry with those who cry and laugh with those who laugh. So now we will cry with those who cry. We will mourn.
There's other people's parents there,
mourn, and we will be able to
not
give
hers.
A message of hope and knowing that God is in control through it all.
Parents, students, and community members showed up, laying flowers, candles, and balloons down in honor of Maddie.
It's heartbreaking and saddening to kind of see this happening. Your children are supposed to be protected. And unfortunately, in this case, she was exposed.
Many still in disbelief that this happened.
Does anybody see her mom there?
hit me very hard, knowing that this can happen to a child, a young girl in my neighborhood. And I look at it as it was my own daughter. You know what I mean?
But through faith and support, even with this tragedy, the community will still be able to rely on each other.
Did we see her in there? Anybody? Anybody?
We pray. Amen.
And even in the last few minutes, we still had some parents come out here to pay their respects to Maddie. And people tell us that the next steps really are to just follow the death investigation as it continues and find closure in the situation. For now, we're live in Hunters Creek. Paula Tristan Aruda, West 2 News.
All right. We're going to stop sharing that and hop back on here, everybody. So, oh, where do we go? That wasn't even my next video. So you can see I didn't see her anywhere. Nowhere did anyone see her anywhere. And she should be out there for the vigil and grieving. And you could see the heartbreak in people's eyes. So we're remembering Madeline Soto, first of all, before we, this is not just for the content only. We don't want to be the people that do it just for content and likes and subscribes. I really want to bring attention to her, remember her, and remember to keep your kids safe and know who's around them, really know who's around them. But if anything, just be around them. And maybe I'm a helicopter mom, but I'm just always around and I don't trust anybody. So yeah, just remember that. And now we're going to watch and we're going to talk about the what do I want to do? Okay, so we did the vigil. I want to show the go over the Sweetie Pie Low video, and we're questioning same thing. We're questioning her and how she's acting, and then I'll get into the family things because we do talk about how the family speaks, which is so much more different. And then we will play the video, the second video that everybody probably seen, but maybe not all the way through. I don't know. Hold on, let me pause this real quick. And has everybody seen I didn't see her either. I don't know if everybody's seen both videos that she did. She did one with Fox News. Jen Soto did one with Fox, and that was the one where he was cracking his knuckles. But most people didn't see it in the entirety. So we're going to play that after we listen to this and comment on. Everybody check out Sweetie Pie Low. It's, if you know, Sweetie Pie Low for YouTuber. Amazing. Thank you, Sweetie Pie Low. Shout out to you for letting me use your content and talk about it. All right, let's go.
We are full throttle into this Madeline Soto case, and it is blowing my mind. I feel it's time to go over everything I know so I can catch you up in case you're somewhat new to this.
Now, it's not a long video, and we don't have to watch all of it to catch everybody up. It's a 10-minute video, but there's just some things that she says in there. And if you notice the title, it's No Emotion, Mom's Involved, trigger warning on the case. So this has a different perspective than some of the other ones that you've seen where there's a 50-50 split. I'm not going to replay stuff. If there's something she shows, I'll fast forward through it, but check this out. And I will try to always bump it up to 1.25. That way we are not listening to someone else's content like really slow and, so here you go.
The information that you definitely didn't know. So it's important to stay tuned. Also, this video is sponsored by Huge Casino. Who is Madeline Soto? Madeline Soto, she was 12, just turned 13 last Sunday. And on Monday morning, she vanished. By Friday, they'd been searching for 5 days. There was a press conference and law enforcement said, we have reason to believe that she is no longer alive. And at that point, I think they had already arrested Stephan Sterns, which is the mom's boyfriend.
Last night, detectives from the Kissimmee Police Department met with Madeline's mother, and they had to tell her the very devastating news that although we have not found Madeline,
now I'm sure everybody's seen this.
So our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off.
Let's hear more of her commentary on this. We don't need to see that again or him.
Is the spitting image of Chris Watts.
Stephan,
I agree with that.
Right now, explain to us.
Although he did a little bit better.
I dropped her off.
I think Chris Watts was worse.
Liar.
Hey, a good day at school when she got out. I love her.
Agreed.
She said, thanks, love you too.
He's crying for himself.
Madeline's mom, Jen's interview was
Here we
just
go.
as concerning. And just yesterday, a new report came out indicating that the mother's official story doesn't align with what investigators know to be true.
Jennifer Soto told us last week that the last conversation she had with her daughter was about her 13th birthday party the night before Maddie disappeared.
I told her good night, and yeah, that was it.
But according to documents, Sunday night was not the last time Soto saw Maddie. New documents show that Maddie's mom told deputies on February 26th that she saw her daughter getting dressed for school at 8 o'clock that morning, and that her boyfriend then took the teen to school. But since that initial report was taken, we learned from the Orange County Sheriff that Maddie was likely dead earlier than that.
Also, her comforting him makes me sick in a whole bunch of different ways, but it makes me sick because I thought they weren't even together. And sometimes she calls him and there's a grandma, by the way. Sometimes they say they're boyfriend, girlfriend. Sometimes they say they're broken up. And then he's always calling her Maddie, he's the stepdad, which I have some subreddit clips later to show you because he's so enthralled in Maddie and is always talking about, all of his posts talk about his girlfriend's daughter. They don't talk about his girlfriend. They talk about the daughter. So, all right, let's keep going. We're not talking about him right now. Now, this, you guys, is Maddie Soto's grandma, or it's Maddie Soto's grandma. I'm going to say that because I'm not sure that it's Jennifer Soto's mom or not. All I know is it's her grandma, and she gets on a Spanish news station and talks about it. And I'll show you that quick clip after because I don't speak Spanish.
3 days into Maddie's disappearance, her grandmother did an interview for Spanish News, and she stated that Jen, Maddie's mom, would normally take Maddie to school, but on that day, she woke very tired and asked the boyfriend if he could take Maddie to school. One of his former friends has come out who knew him for like 3 years, and he said that Stephan and Jen were, on and off again, but he was still keeping in contact with Madeline. Maybe he would go visit them, but he for sure moved. So after they broke up, he moved to Sarasota area, Northport area, and Stephan lived back with his parents, or mother there at least, and came back to Kissimmee to attend the birthday party of Madeline Soto. Now, if you've seen the legal paperwork, one of the charges is from
off
this
and
past
on.
December. So the story you're hearing and seeing is not altogether the true story, allegedly. Okay, I just found out about this while having a smoke and looking on Google News. I played tabletop RPG games, card games. He has been around my 2 sons. My wife liked him. I just was with him the weekend prior to the incident. He was supposed to go up there that weekend, but came out. I introduced him to a couple of my other buddies. We had a great time. I cannot believe this, blank. And then the pedo blank. Like, I always felt he was weird because he was nerdy, but now a lot of things make sense. Like, I knew him pretty well, but I guess I really didn't either. Now I'm really wondering about a few certain things that I won't get into, but it makes a lot of sense why he chose to take certain things and be up all night alone.
All right, we're going to get
Casino
past
is
this.
an
We don't need this. Thank you, sweetie pie. All right, but here we are, and you can see she looks a lot like her.
Jen Soto
mom.
has been married before. She was married in 2015, divorced in 2017. She supposedly works at Disney World, but does pet sitting.
We're going to see
the
that
side.
video.
And allegedly, she has a problem with pharmaceutical, which could explain her somewhat flat response when talking about her missing daughter right here. A lot of us are left wondering, how is she so calm during a time that her daughter's missing? And then, of course, the story's not adding up about when she last saw her daughter. Was it the night before, or was it that morning? And why the varying stories here? Maybe Maddie was killed in the night by Stephan. There are rumors that Maddie talked to her friend.
So do you see what's happening here? She's kind of putting this together. I like having her perspective. I know everybody else is watching it sucks because I planned this earlier and everybody's watching the Kayla Montgomery thing. Probably everybody's hopped on that. As soon as I got on here, I saw that and I almost wanted to postpone this myself. I was like, man, should I get on there or should I push it out? But you know what? I'm filming this. And everyone can go and rewatch. The chat's pretty slow today, and I'm not sure if it's the internet or if everybody's just doing something or watching something else, and that's okay. But I want you to hear the different stories that she says multiple times. And this is just solidifying it. And this will be in my archives for later to go back on to rewatch and see how many different times she says different things and what they are. I'm not going to sit there and cut out clips and show you, but I do have a video of that. And the police, when, and you hear me, when they arrest her, are going to have all of the inconsistencies in her statements about what happened. But we're hearing it now first. So this is good.
Friends at school about the alleged abuse that was going on. Now I'm going to share with you one thing that came out in another interview today with a former friend of Stephan Sterns that was just crazy to me.
What type of stuff did Stephan Sterns do then? What type of stuff did you see him do? I mean, with your own eyes that you've been around.
Well, I've seen him try to pick up younger girls that were, we were in our teens. We were like our 16, 17 years old. And he tried to go after 8 or 9-year-old girls, sometimes even 10, 11, to have sex with them, be in a relationship with these younger children. I've seen it.
Here's another clip from a former friend of Stephan's.
Was interesting. I never really understood it at the time, being the age I was. But yeah, and then I remember multiple times where, he was trying to show me like a Hustler magazine he had gotten or something. And I'm like, well, where'd you get this? And where'd you get this? And he's like, oh, well, my mom gets them for me when my dad's out of town working. And I'm just like,
wow. That's ridiculous.
I know.
Was she abusing him?
I don't want to play too much of that, but I'm showing the picture there. Everybody knows that voice. If you know Gray Hughes, if you don't have something really intelligent to say, don't call into that show because you'll get stomped on. But yeah, those little candies he had up on his, the lotte, mango, all those candies are the Mexican candies that kids like to eat. And his Reddits and all his social media always had something to do with children. And so in that picture, he's talking about, I didn't like these at first, but now they're growing on me. My girlfriend's daughter does. Everything said his girlfriend's daughter. So those pictures, I mean, you can see that's geared towards kids, and pedophiles do that. Now, you can't tell me that the mom didn't see every time he bought Maddie a present. So that's another thing is what didn't she know? He's buying her daughter presents all the time and buying things she likes and talking about his girlfriend's daughter, but yet I don't think he's buying her presents and showering her. And as a matter of fact, half the time he told everybody that they were broken up. So if you guys didn't know that, a lot of people that went on many different YouTube channels are telling us that he was telling that they weren't even together. And earlier you heard Sweetie Pie Low say that he had moved out and then he came back. And then she said that she was tired she was too tired to take her to school. That's why she didn't. But then when we listened to the second interview, she has a different story. It's the weirdest thing in the world that this woman's not arrested already. All right, let's keep going. This isn't very long, and then we'll get into the next thing.
Him? Somewhere.
I don't know. Stephan never said anything to me about that. I think that if she was, I don't think he would. Just the amount of temper that she would go into. I think he was very afraid of her.
I came across this legal paperwork. So when Stephan Sterns was
he afraid of?
Probably 13 or 14 years old. He was hit by a lifted Toyota and was able to get a settlement.
We knew about
out of
that,
it.
right?
There was a guardianship, so he could get his money one day, and it was a very, very unclear contract. So I put in a phone call to the person who brokered this, actually like a guardianship, and he's going to be calling me back here in a day. So make sure you subscribe. Here is the reaction of the guy who dealt with Stephan Sterns in this legal agreement back in 1999. Finding
Media at all or no? Oh gosh, he's really involved in a scandal, but more than a scandal. Basically, he was in a relationship with a woman who had a 13-year-old daughter, and word came out last Monday that the little girl was missing. And by, I believe it was Friday, they found the girl's body, and he was immediately arrested. For on child P. He had.
I'm muted. As you know, she's talking about the person that brokered the $20,000 because it was debunked. his lie that he said that he worked at Disney World. He actually didn't, and most people didn't even know that he had a job ever. So they were thinking that he was living off of his parents' money. Who knows what Jen, Maddie's mom, gave him? Who knows if she was giving him money, the parents, and then the $20,000 or whatever else that he did. So we don't know. There's a lot of things about that. But again, back to the mom. How does she not know any of this? Does she not see the signs of the attention that's being showered on her daughter by this man, even though they weren't together? Him living in a separate room, if that's the case, and tell me he wasn't sneaking into her room at night, into Maddie's room. I cannot believe that she didn't know.
Abuse material of he and the little 13-year-old girl in his phone. And so now we're just going over old stuff that involved him.
She's telling the
trying
broker
to get
this.
a good idea of what his past is like.
The
So
broker
that's why I called you.
flabbergasted.
The little girl that 13-year-old's body was found.
Correct.
She was missing for
He knows.
5 days.
a while.
Okay, and then there's the tip that came in. This is the tip, I believe, that led to finding her body. Now, this was on Facebook last week before the body was found. This person reported the tip to law enforcement, but at the time, they didn't do anything with it. Here's what it said. I saw him around 1:20 p.m. Monday on Old Hickory Tree, pull over on a roundabout that has a cargo shipping container. He was on the right-hand side heading towards Harmony. Harmony is I guess a part of town, a street or something, an area, I think. He was wearing a green light brown hat backwards. I didn't see anyone else in the vehicle. He was outside the car at the back left tire with a tire iron, looked like he was changing it, but couldn't say for sure. Then it was asked, have you reported this? He said, yes. And they told me it was not enough information or the information they were looking for.
All right, everybody. This answers my question that I had about how he got caught and where they knew how to find that spot and where to look. If anybody else, if you guys have seen that it's all over the news. They have it's just a spot out. It's like flat grass and then a bunch of trees. They actually found her body in just like right in the middle of a couple of tree type of bushes. So I saw him around 1:20 p.m. on Monday. That must have been when he dumped the body. Around that time, he could have done it before, he could have done it after, but that's how that got tipped in. Again, I don't know if they have his cell phone pings or anything, but that was my major question on how they even knew how to go to that spot. When you look at that spot, it's like you're not going to look there. It's like an open field and then a bunch of shrubbery and then a little spot in between. She wasn't even really hidden. It was almost like she was just, trigger warning, her body was just kind of tossed out there in between bush type of trees in Florida. So I saw him around 1:20 p.m. Monday on Old Hickory Tree, pull over on a roundabout that has a cargo shipping container. He was on the right hand side heading towards Harmony Lane, I'm assuming. He was wearing a green light brown hat backwards. I didn't see anyone else in the vehicle, so this must have been after he dumped her. He was outside the car. He must have got a flat tire at the back left tire with the tire iron. Looked like he was changing it, but couldn't say for sure. We blocked out the names. Did you report this? And they told him there wasn't enough information. So they may have said there wasn't enough information, but they certainly went into that area and they did find her. And Sadie's mama, yes, you're right. It was only 20 feet off the road. I heard multiple other things. One person said a mile off the road. That's not true. Another person said 60 feet off the road. You're a lot more accurate. It was only about 20 feet off the road. It was a very lazy job, and her body was not hidden well at all, which is good because otherwise we wouldn't have been able to find her so quickly and move justice forward. Let's see. We don't have much more of this.
Digging into his past, I think, can at least enlighten us a little bit more into who he is, how he became that way, what led him potentially down that road. It's that whole psychological side of this investigation. How did he just one day decide to, start abusing her? By the way, there's a lot of controversy and talk about the share posting pictures of Maddie right when they found her body. I have that picture I honestly thought it was photoshopped, but basically what it shows is a person in jeans in a green sweatshirt lying like in the grass under a tree. Now that I know that it's true,
I saw
I'm
a
just like
blurred out
really
picture
shocked
of
that
it.
anybody would ever put
You-
out
you
images
can't
like
really
that.
see
Why would the
anything.
sheriff do this? And I found out the only person who can arrest the sheriff is the coroner, if that's true. There's so much more to know. Please subscribe. I got more coming. Thank you so much, Huge Casino.
Thank you, Sweetie Pilo, for your take on this and letting me use your content. I appreciate that. And I wish I was sitting next to you right now and we were on dual screens at the same time talking about this, because I'm sure that we would actually have a lot to say to each other. So, everybody hit that like button, please. If you're just passing by, everybody new, the lurkers coming in and out. Hello, Jackie Oliver. It looks like you're a new subscriber. I haven't seen you here before. Maybe you've been around, but thanks for heading in the chat. Always can use new people to get things kickstarted. Now, so we've heard the take on that. Buckle in. I want to watch the video of Jen. I want in the entirety. It's not very long on Fox 2, so that after that we can watch Madeline's aunt speak and then Madeline's grandma speak, because I want you to see how much different it is. And also I want to watch this video in entirety with you. I know everybody here loves watching these, even if it's multiple times. Juror 13, you're the best. You'll watch anything with me 100 times. You're great. I do the same thing. I watch it over and over. So we're going to watch that Fox 2 interview that I actually have not seen, believe it or not, in the entirety. So this is the first time I've watched the whole thing in the entirety without just having clips of it in bits and pieces here and there, believe it or not. Just because I have so much content to consume all the time. So, all right, let's listen to this again. If you don't want to, then don't watch it. Watch something else. Here we go.
Jen, go ahead and tell us what's going on with Maddie.
Well, Monday morning, we took her to school.
Watch her
We
expressions.
dropped her off close to school,
Look
across
for
the street
crying.
from a church, which is very,
look in the
it's right
background.
next to the school.
There's
She
Stephan
crossed the
Sterns.
street, and walked to school, what we thought walked to school. My boyfriend who drove her to school drove away at that point. Video footage out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school. But she never made it that walk and that was around 9 a.m. when she got up. She never made it to school after that. It's right next to the school. I don't know why she didn't make it. I don't know if something happened on her walk along the way or if she got taken, but she never made it.
And that was the last anyone's seen of her or heard from her?
Yes.
Does anyone else think that he's standing back there and you can see him kind of shaking his head or just making sure that she's saying the right things that they rehearsed? This is the first time I've seen this video, the whole thing. So I've only seen bits and pieces, and I'm watching her. There are no tears. I'm listening to her story. It's different than the other stories, and it looks like he's like, okay, yeah, she's saying the right thing. She's sticking to the story.
I went to pick her up after school, and she wasn't there. So I started driving around, maybe thinking she took a walk. Maybe she decided to walk to my mom's office, which is pretty close to the school as well. Drove around and I didn't see anything. I drove back to the school. The school was closed. I emailed one of her teachers. They confirmed that she was absent all day. At that point is when I called 911 because I realized something was.
Okay, now that's another thing. So I appreciate that she called 911 right after that, but she was going in chronological order of what she thought she was supposed to say that she did. And she didn't, the chronological order wasn't she went to her friend's house that she normally hangs out with, or her normal hangouts, or called friends. She sent an email and then she called 911. That was what I got out of it. So to me, she's telling these chronological stories, and this is why I'm going to stick to my, whether she gets arrested or not, she's involved in one way or the other. She knows what's been happening and she's standing up for this man. He's in the background confirming what she's saying and telling the right stories. I unbelievable. Other people are over there out holding hope and looking, and she's going to call 911 right away. It's because she knows. She knows something.
Truly
No way.
wrong.
Have you heard from like any of her friends? Has she been active on any social media?
She hasn't been active on social media, none of her chats, none of her games. We did contact all her friends. None of them had seen her Monday or heard from her. Yeah, there's no update.
And I have to ask this, and I know I hate doing it, but is she the type that would run away? Has this happened in the past or anything? Has she ever threatened to run away?
Never. She's never ever mentioned anything like this before, and she's not the type to want to do this. She did accidentally leave her phone on Monday, which is kind of normal for her. She's got ADHD and very forgetful. So she left her phone at home, so there's no way to trace her. They tried tracing her school laptop, but that's off, so it's not pinging to anything.
Jen, what is your fear? I know you mentioned she's on games and stuff. Do you think she could have like met somebody and tried to meet up with them?
She's open to us. She's open with us about, if she's got a crush with anyone, and she told us she had a crush on someone at school. And I looked.
She's really open with them, huh? Very open with them. I'm sure she's open with them. Did she tell her mom about the last time he went into her room and what happened? I don't think so. Ridiculous. See, just listening to this and getting to break it down like that is awesome. She tells her mom about a crush, but she doesn't say that. Makes no sense at all. It's a complete bullshit story.
Look at their messages. Nothing was weird. I looked at all of her messages, all of her deleted messages.
Bullshit.
Nothing seemed weird. It didn't seem like she was talking to anyone. So I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like she may have been taken.
She's lying.
Because this is not like her at all to just disappear and not tell us, not let us know where she's going or who she's with.
There were no text messages from Stephan to her? Really?
What are you getting from law enforcement? Are they actively searching for her? I mean, what happens now? I mean, especially that she doesn't have her phone with her.
So as far as I know, they're conducting a search around the school. Behind the school, there's a Shingle Creek. There's a wooded path area that you could walk. It's a hiking path. They are going back there with their canine dogs. They've taken a piece of her clothing to see if they can trace her scent. They're also taking their own vehicles. I'm not sure what type of vehicles, but they're going into the woods to search for her. But I don't feel like that's going to find anything right now. We've had people all day on that trail sending us photos to see if anything there looks familiar and like her personal belongings, and
because you already know where she is.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure where to go from here. I'm just contacting the news to get the word out, to get some help, because I'm desperate.
Do you guys think that she was already dead the night before, and then they waited till the morning and dumped her off? Or do you think that happened in the morning? I kind of think it happened in the morning, only because it would be stupid of him to do it during the day when he was on camera, unless he wanted to say that he was taking her to school. But I think that something did happen and they waited until the morning around that time frame. But yeah, she can't give a straight answer about what she's wearing. She's literally said she doesn't think that. Why would you say you don't think the efforts are going to help while they're looking for your daughter? She knew. They're going to arrest her soon, guys.
I'm a wreck right now.
Even just for
So
lying.
you think that she's been taken against her will?
I do think so, yes.
as a mom, what's your mother's intuition telling you right now?
I'm trying to hope for the best, but I'm scared for her. I want her to be okay. I want her to be safe. I don't want I don't want her to come back harmed. I just want her back. Whatever that means. I just want her back.
Whatever that means. No
Are you
tears.
getting any updates from law
No fog
enforcement?
on her
I mean,
glasses.
yes,
No
they're
tears.
searching that small area, but have they gotten any hits on any scent or anything like that?
They haven't let me know anything. They haven't updated me since I spoke to them this morning. I've contacted them to get some information or to give them some leads, but I've heard nothing back.
And Jen, there's no way that she just being a teenager was like, maybe had a fight with you or an argument with you and was like, you know what, I'm going to go hang out at so-and-so's house and teach her a lesson. Could that be a scenario?
I don't believe so. We actually haven't gotten into a fight in like a few weeks or arguments or anything like that. If anything, on Sunday, she celebrated her 13th birthday with my entire family and she had the best day. She was so happy. She showed us all her
How
gifts.
do you know you weren't there?
She's just a happy girl and she showed it on Sunday night when she went to bed. She was so happy. So, she had the best day.
I agree.
That's
panic. You see her
there was
squinting?
there was no moment in that evening from when she got home from the party that she had her phone or had the laptop. She went straight to getting ready and went to bed. So I know she didn't have any conversations with anyone. She didn't make plans with anyone.
Because she
I
was
didn't see any
already
of that.
dead. That's why.
She spent the whole Sunday celebrating her 13th birthday. Was her 13th birthday on that Sunday, or that was just like the time you guys were celebrating?
Does that make sense to any of you that she had a 13th birthday? I remember when I was 13, that was like the best time. Friends, fun. I didn't have all the cell phones and they didn't have laptops and stuff, but you're telling me, so I think you're right, Carly. It was the night before. And that's why she's saying that she went to bed and didn't communicate with anyone, because you're telling me after your birthday party, you're not sending them pictures of your gifts and talking about boys and whatever you're talking about, this, that, BSing after your birthday party. You're not just over there. I mean, even not on my birthday party, I'm always texting on the phone and on my computer. So I think everybody's right in the assumption. My only question is, if he killed her that night, why did he wait until the day? Maybe because he thought, oh yeah, well, okay, I'm answering my own question. So he did have her seat belted into the front seat, so it would make it look like he was taking her to school. And then that's when that happened. So the cameras showed that she was in the car. That's the only thing I could think of, because if she never comes back out of the house, then that would have been even more suspicious. So I guess I answered my own question, guys. And I think that did happen the night before, and he was trying to use that as the alibi. But the mom's straight up lying. Look how she's squinting her eyes, looking to tell the right story, trying to think, what am I supposed to say? And he's in the background making sure she says the right things.
That was the time we were celebrating. Her birthday was on Thursday, the 22nd. She just turned 13.
But that's just so heartbreaking to be celebrating her 13th birthday, and then the very next day, that's the last you've seen of her.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you go now? Are you gonna go out there and search or look, or what is are you sticking by the phone? Are you what are you doing?
I'm staying at home, staying by the phone, hoping she just appears.
Bullshit.
I know my entire family is out looking. They've all spread a bunch of flyers. They've gone.
Not her.
I've had people contact me that they've gone to the international airport to spread flyers, to Amtrak, to Greyhound, just any way that if someone's taken her and they're trying to take her, just to show her face, just to make sure, she's not being taken
Jackie.
against her will.
That's one of my theories as
and
well.
You mentioned
I've seen
ADHD.
that.
Was there anything else maybe mentally going on, or that you knew of?
I've actually seen that happen many times with many people, and heard lots of stories where the mom and the daughter, the dad or the stepdad or whatever, is having sex with both of them, and they get mad at each other, and so there's a beef between the two, which is the sickest thing ever. But that could be one of the possibilities. I agree 100%.
She does suffer from anxiety, and once upon a time she was diagnosed with autism. We had her what's the word? Reevaluated.
Okay.
We had her reevaluated a few months ago, actually, and they told us no, she didn't have autism, but she did have some autistic traits. She did have ADHD, some autistic traits, but not autism. So I'm not sure where to leave with that, because one doctor said she did, and one doctor saying she doesn't, and I don't know. She's just in the middle, I guess, because she does have some tendencies, but socially she's pretty great. So I'm not sure.
And with the video that you were able to see whenever your boyfriend dropped her off, where was that? Which video? Was that a surveillance camera?
It was a surveillance camera from the church, Peace Church, right next to Hunters Creek Middle School.
Reiterating what
Do
he
you have
said.
that video?
I don't have that. They didn't show me. They wouldn't show me. It was actually my sister was the one at location, and they were letting her know what they saw on camera.
Okay.
But they didn't show it to any of us.
Got it. Okay. Jen, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Any other bullshit you want to say?
Please, 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 if you have any information, contact me, contact law enforcement. Any information helps. Maddie, if you see this, please come home. Please be safe.
Look at all the
I love you
tears.
very much.
Bullshit.
If you have my Maddie, please just.
I hope I don't get
let her come
arrested.
home. We just want her home.
You're gonna get arrested soon. I hope very soon.
Um.
All right. So stop this. I didn't mean to do that. And yes, finally, I've actually watched the whole thing through. It's so hard for me to watch these things and just want to call bullshit out. And I'm calling bullshit out to I'm yelling at the TV or whatever. I watch it on YouTube on TV and knowing that it is. And a lot of people saying sympathize with her and you should, maybe she's not involved. And you're right. I don't want to say it's innocent until proven guilty, but she has something to do with it and she knows about it. She definitely knows about it. And the police know that she knows about it and it just hasn't come out yet. Gonna read Jackie Oliver's comment. I think I'd be out looking for my daughter instead of sitting there. And she didn't have a phone. To say that she didn't know her way home. Yeah, she's a liar. So she's gonna sit there without her daughter having a phone and just wait for her to come home or wait for the phone to ring for my daughter that doesn't have a phone. So yeah, I mean, there's just so many contradicting statements. Now, when you look at her, she even said her family's out there searching, but she's not. So really quickly, we'll just listen to we'll look at her and then now we'll see her aunt quickly on the news speaking. And she's out there searching too, but her mom is not. She's sitting at home waiting for God knows what. I guess them to find the body. So sad.
20 minutes until the sun's going to set, and dozens of volunteers are still out there looking for 13-year-old Madeline Soto. They've been out there all day in a wooded area near Hunters Creek in Orange County. Good evening. I'm John Brown.
And I'm Luann Sorrell. Deputies have officially called off their search for the day. Fox 35's Caroline Coles is joining us live tonight. So, Caroline, the girl's family is just terrified that she could be in danger.
Yeah, just like any family would be. They're nervous, they're scared, they're worried. They just are hoping and praying that they find her safe and, most importantly, alive.
I really don't think she would have ever done anything like that. To just pick up and run away with no trace of anything.
50 hours and counting. That's how long it's been since 13-year-old Madeline Soto was reported.
All right, so you saw that. Her aunt was crying and nothing. Not even a tear from her mom. No foggy glasses. I want to play that. Okay, we're not. I just wanted to see her aunt. I'm going to play that again so you can see that she's actually crying.
really don't think she would have ever done anything like that. To just pick up and run away with no trace of anything.
50 hours and counting.
All right, so
That's how long it's been since
make sure.
13-year-old Madeline Soto was
All
reported
right,
missing.
we already know
On
all
Wed-
this. Make sure. See, go back to the aunt.
I'm trying to believe that she is still alive out there.
Maddie was last seen Monday morning
See?
after being dropped off.
If she's somewhere safe, that I have high doubts. Why do you say that? Just because of the world we live in right now, everything's really crazy.
Wait, let's listen to that.
Why do you say that?
Hold on, let's go back.
It inside.
I don't know if she's somewhere safe, that I have high doubts. Why do you say that? Just because of the world we live in right now, everything's really crazy.
Sheriff's
Agreed.
deputies are using canine.
All right, so we already know all this. I really just wanted to see the difference between her and the sister or her aunt.
We're worried about where she is and what, I mean, God forbid, but what's happening to her, if anyone has her, if anything like that. It's gotten to a point where we're hoping that she is with someone that she knows.
Now, the family, of course, watched that press conference that we saw earlier from Sheriff Mina, and they text me saying, look, we hear what the sheriff is saying, but we want to let it be known and clear that Maddie would never, ever run away. So that's what they're putting out there. And again, they're hoping and praying that she returns home safe.
Yeah, and we know that she didn't. So we're going to stop that. We know that did not happen. And yeah, she didn't come home safe and they found her. So yeah, you can see the huge difference. Carly's mom, or Sadie's mama, Carly, you're nobody's mom. Carly, I believe the dad has been in jail. I think so. If anyone can verify that, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know. We haven't seen him. We haven't heard anything from him. So probably. And I assume if he was around and he cared, he'd probably want to kick that guy's ass and a lot more than that. So yeah, I don't know. But I'm going to say right now that he's in jail. And then I'm going to show you the now I'm going to show you the grandma real quick on the Spanish station. And what she's saying is what Sweetie Pie Low said. But I just want to show you a quick, because I want you to see her and show you that I found her, what they call grandma or abuela, speaks on there. And if anybody speaks Spanish, you'll understand it. I'm just going to show a quick clip because I don't understand it myself. Hold on. I just know that she's saying that her daughter, Jen Soto, said that she didn't take Maddie to school that day because she was too tired. And so now we're going to see that.
Soto continúa.
We have well over.
Tenemos a más de 100 oficiales, detectives y miembros del servicio.
Okay, there you go. There, we're going to play this now. This is her grandma. This is Madeline Soto's grandma, and she's explaining that the reason the boyfriend took her to school that day was because mom was too tired. But now you can see the aunt, the grandma, and everybody's so much different than the way the mom's acting.
Quería vivir en el bosque.
Pero para la abuela de Madeline, los esfuerzos de la policía son en vano.
Pienso que se está perdiendo el tiempo buscándola ahí atrás. Pues son 3 días y no aparece nada. Yo estoy segura que la niña la tuvieron que haber sacado de aquí.
La familia cree que fue secuestrada. ¿Hay alguna posibilidad de esto?
So, that's why we have.
Es por eso que tenemos a todas estas personas allá afuera. No sabemos si la secuestraron.
¿Cómo es posible que una niña no llegue a la escuela y Orange County notifique a las 6 de la tarde por una grabación? Su niña no fue ausente hoy en su escuela.
Horas en la que la familia desconocía que Madeline se encontraba desaparecida.
Que un niño no llegó, llamen si fue que estuvo enfermo o tiene una cita médica. Yo pienso que la Orange County tiene que cambiar eso.
Ahora, la familia desconsolada
contacte con nosotros.
Regrese a casa.
A todo mundo que tenga alguna información, así sea la más mínima, que se contacte con nosotros, con la policía, que la persona que se la llevó, que Dios le abra su corazón no la entregue y que no la entregue bien, que no la entregue bien viva.
All right, that's enough of that. I don't understand Spanish, but I understood what she was saying for the most part. I mean, I understand it. I don't speak it. I can get it when they talk slow like that.
Esto los
And
está llevando hacia
basically, she was pleading. She was telling the story why, and then she was saying that she didn't show up to school. She doesn't think that she was sick or anything, but her heart is hurting for her, and they want the search to continue. So that's what she was saying, if anybody speaks Spanish. But if you look at her family, everybody, in comparison to them, to when I say them, I'm sorry, to her mom, it's 110% different. When you see her grandma on there, she even looked concerned. I mean, she wasn't crying. I don't know how close she was, but she had that concern on her face and that hurt. Yeah, I see other people saying that this is bringing tears. Poor little girl, very innocent. And she looks like a little girl going from left to right. But as you go from left to right, she's starting to look more like a woman. And maybe, just maybe, I haven't heard this one yet. Maybe she was getting too old for his liking and she just wasn't giving in the way he wanted her to. She was supposedly 11. Some people say 9, but the cops do say she was 11. That was the first time that he assaulted her on her 11th birthday. He definitely assaulted her again on her 12th birthday. And then on her 13th birthday, he killed her. So I'm sure in between, he went in there and snuck in a room and they had some kind of relationship going on, some weird, crazy relationship. But look at the pictures one more time before I start talking about the next subject, which we're still going to talk about the case, but I think I might have one more video and I want to pull up the PCA. I don't know how much I can read of it, but yeah, she looks like a little girl on the first top left. And then you go to the right, that's her birthday. She's starting to look a little older. And then when you see her in that dress, she looks even older. So maybe she was getting too old for the liking and just talking back. Hello, Anthony France. Good to see you. Nice talking with you earlier. And yeah, thanks for the heads up on continuing this case. There's so much more that we're going to talk about, I'm sure. I mean, it's just all over. I can't find anything but this. Well, other than the Kayla Montgomery thing that I missed. I'll have to go back. Now I have something to watch besides this. This is very consuming. That and the Elijah Vu. If anybody's watching that, I'm covering the Elijah Vu, and there was a hearing today, and the parents were requesting the bond to be lowered so they can get out. And guess what, y'all? That's a no-go. The judge told the defendant's attorney that he doesn't believe the mom. She lied about where she said she was supposed to be when Elijah went missing. She wasn't supposed to be in town, and she lied about that. So keep them in there. So both of them, Katrina Bowe and Jesse Vang, will be staying in jail. Hopefully until they can hold them as long as they can until they find the body or enough evidence. I do have hope that he will be brought home. If he's not with somebody, then he definitely is not alive anymore. That's the Jesse Vu case. And again, if you can go to my playlist, I have 2 videos, and then I have a dual stream with Marv, Beyond the Evidence, where she goes out and does a search. So you can see the actual pictures there, which is amazing. Marv, you're amazing for that. Anybody that's doing search is amazing. I'd like to do that eventually. You guys can see in my description, I have Cash App and Venmo if you're out of the country, PayPal. I'm still kind of working on that. They're having a little funky issue, but any donations will be appreciated. I'm not going to do anything with that. I have a job. I would like to use that to be able to fly out and do some searching for another case. Right now I'm in San Jose, California. That's where I live, in the Bay Area, and you're not going to be searching in any bushes really around here. So I'd love to join a search party and Yeah, I need funding for that though, because my money is from my bills and I have plenty of them. So let's keep going. You can look at my description for that. I'm not pushing for that. I just want to keep making more content. So I'm gonna stop this screen. I want to share a couple of the little Reddit posts that he had on there that you may have seen on other channels from Stephan Sterns and him trying to groom Maddie. And that's all he talks about. It's like he's obsessed with her in all of his uh, posts. He talks about his girlfriend's daughter, never his girlfriend. Well, maybe they just don't screenshot that, but I really don't see anything about his girlfriend. So, yeah, okay. No thanks right now. Are we sharing this screen? I want to show you this one and then we'll just pull them up. So here we go. Let's see if you can see that. All right. So I don't have the little picture on there, but this is Sustanet and this is, and you can see what Stephan Sterns look like. He looks like he has a beard and he kind of made a little icon like that. I don't know if he's balding or what. I couldn't tell. He had a hat on, but that kind of looks like his icon right there, which you can't see me. Here's my mouse. That's him with the beard and the hair little thing. Sustanet. I don't know if it's still up, but I believe this is a like Reddit or subreddit. And he says, I have an angel gotchi, which is like a little game thing that kids play that my stepdaughter, which is who he calls his stepdaughter is Madeline Soto, wants as well. I'll probably end up gifting it to her since it was a pink one that was mistakenly delivered to me instead of the white version I'd ordered. I call bullshit on this. There's like 10 other of these posts and he's talking about these little gotchi games, and in those posts he shows them and he's like really obsessed with these gotchi games and playing them with his stepdaughter. He refers to her as the stepdaughter or the girlfriend's daughter any chance he gets. So it's really freaking weird. Here's another one. Are you guys still with me? Yeah, there's another one here. And thank you. Hit it right, point on. Thank you. I'm trying here. Here's Sustanet again, grooming here, and there's so many more of these that I could have pulled up, but I didn't have time. Again, I'm still dealing with my roof and ceiling and estimators and people coming out tarping. So I'm on here with you all and I'm doing the best that I can. I hope you like the content. So like, subscribe, share, and rewatch. Here he is again, Sustanet a year ago. He says, like non-existent, question mark. I don't know how you intentionally have an orgasm without ejaculating other than clenching hard or pinching it off. This shows you what a weird guy he is, or why you would want to as that kind of orgasm, known as a dry orgasm, is not only extremely unsatisfying, but not really healthy either, as it can lead to issues that cause infertility. Look up retrograde ejaculation. It's not fun. Let your swimmers fly free and train yourself to keep going after that if you want to try for multiples as a man. Wow. Yeah, guys. I mean, this is just this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's another, I mean, I've just been hearing it, of course. I don't have a clip of it, or I'm not sure if it's a clip or writing, something in writing, but he used to save his sperm and put it into vials and put it in girls' drinks because he thought it would get them pregnant. I believe I heard that's the story that I heard. I know that's true because that's what he did. He was doing that with his bourbon and putting in girls' drinks to get them pregnant. And I don't know what age he was. You know, again, we can dig deeper and deeper. I can probably spend hours on this, but these are the kind of things that he's saying. That first one that I showed you, he was just there was probably 20 of them talking about his girlfriend's daughter or his stepdaughter. So there you go. This was the social media thing about them accidentally leaking the photo. If you missed that last night, there was a dead photo of Maddie that the sheriff posted on social media that was accidentally got onto Instagram. They immediately removed it. Many people saw it. You saw Sweetie Pie Low said she saw it, and they deeply apologized. So something should happen with that. Anyway, and we saw this earlier, but she went really quick. This is a guy that knows him. I don't want to say that because if you're not watching this, Frank Peralta knew Stephan Sterns, and he says, this is an hour ago after this happened, right after recently. I just found out about this today while having a smoke and looking on Google News. I have played tabletop RPG games, card games. Now keep this in mind, guys. Stephan Sterns plays a lot of games. Anybody that ever talks about him, that's all he really does is play games with adults, but also kid. He plays a lot of kid games. And he talked about working at Disney, which he really didn't. So everything kind of revolved around kids and catering to what kids like. So this guy says, I played tabletop RPG games, card games. He has been around my two sons. My wife liked him. Smoozer. You guys know that. These pedos are smoozers, and they get in every time. They try to bring in charm, but they're really trying to get next to a kid. He says, I just was with him the weekend prior to the incident. He's talking about the Maddie incident. The Maddie death. He was supposed to go up there that weekend, but came out. I introduced him to a couple of my other buddies. We had a great time. I cannot believe this shit. And then the pedo shit, like I always felt like he was weird because he was nerdy, but now all the things make sense. Like I knew him pretty well, but I guess I really didn't either. Now I'm really wondering about a few certain things that I won't get into, but it makes a lot of sense why he chooses to take certain things and something I can't all night long. It says, I'm not sure. I don't have the whole clip there, but yeah, you guys see what's happening here on social media. People are coming out now, and we're really finding out who he was. And Anthony France, we speculate 110% speculation. We won't know until the autopsy comes, and then that speculation will be gone. She either was or she wasn't. So yeah, definitely heard that. And I'm gonna see what I can read of the affidavit without getting shut down. But I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna put it up there, and hopefully you guys can see it. It says some pretty sick stuff, but I have all the pages and the arrest warrant and everything. Thanks to Carly, per usual, always helping me out. And he actually didn't work at. No, he didn't. Anthony. He says, yeah, worked at Disney and didn't. Yeah, exactly. Weird. Yeah, worked at Disney and didn't. Same lie as Casey Anthony. Casey Anthony lied about that because she wanted people to think that she was working. She wanted her mom and her dad to think that she had income and that she was going to work every day. So she would say that she was going there. Just really weird stuff like that. I really can't understand. We're never going to understand these people, right? All right, let's keep going. Let's see what I have. Hopefully. Okay, so this is the grandma. That's just a picture of Maddie's grandma. And we saw her earlier. I don't know what she does, but that's a picture of her. Earlier, she looked distressed. So I wanted to show you that's what she actually looks like. But she looked a lot more distressed than the mom. The aunt looked a lot more distressed than the mom. The community looked more distressed than the mom. Everybody's more distressed than the mom. There's that piece of shit. All right. So here's another one. Okay, no, this is the one that we saw earlier, and why we think he got not caught, why they went in that area. We don't know about cell phone pings or anything. So now we're to state of Florida versus Sterns. Stephan Michael. Okay, so his name's Stephan Sterns, and it's state of Florida versus Stephan, and he has not been. Let me see if I can make it bigger. If I can't, then I'll try to do the best I can, everybody, with what I have. Did I just get rid of that? I think I did. Hold on. Yep, I did. I'm going to go back to that. Zoom in and scroll down. All right, I'm going to do it doesn't like that. I have to. All right, one more time. I might just zoom in, scroll down, and I have to hold on it. Okay, if I let it go, it's gone. So you could see hopefully the best that you can. Hopefully everything's that shouldn't be there is not there, no addresses or anything, and I won't read that if there are. It gives you the judge, Keith Karsten, which is great because I love watching these cases and I love certain judges. I don't know this one yet. We haven't really heard anything or seen anything, but it's interesting that this is what is this? An arrest warrant? What is this? I don't actually even know. Oh, it's sexual battery charges, familial custodial authority, possession of materials of sexual performance by child. Now, this is what they found in his phone, everybody, and that's why they're holding him. He is not to this day been charged of Madeline Soto's murder. And that's why, since he hasn't been charged, I'm telling you all that the mom is next. Because if he hasn't even been charged, they're collecting the evidence and looking at this and trying to find lies. So we have the case number here. They just have 2024, I assume the year, CF, and then a number that they filed 000632. This happened on 2/29 of 2024. It's funny, they got a $50 fee there. A report number. Of course, this is a felony, everybody. So that's the court type is a felony. Thank God. They want to hold him as long as he can. Defendant Michael Sterns, plaintiff, state of Florida. He got a public defender, so he can't afford an attorney. Obviously, I read the charges. It's sexual battery and possession of materials in his phone. And on 3/2, he had a weekend initial appearance with Judge Diana Tennis. Now that we come down here and I'm reading this with you at the same time, what are they showing? Outstanding things, criminal juvenile department, deaf application file. They're just showing filing, assessment, all that. And then they go over the case dockets in the bottom 3/4, which was 3 days ago. What today is Thursday. So that was Monday. First appearance held, order of commitment. Now we know he didn't show up, right? So we talk about that. He didn't show up at his court hearing. So warrant arrest, booking report filed, wanted persons, just bunch of legal jargon, which I love, but I don't want to bore you. Weekend initial appearance, Judge Diana Tennis, Osceola County Sheriff's Office transportation worksheet, application for indigent status public defender, which means he doesn't have enough money to pay for an attorney, so they claim him indigent. Criminal case open, arrest warrant, affidavit, case filed on 2/29. That was the day he was arrested. All right. And look at that. Now they're letting me zoom in on it. That's the internet, huh? All right, guys. So there's I wasn't trying to save it, but I was trying to go here and they're going to come off of it. I still got to check in with you because I'm like deep into this and I haven't made sure you all are still here and that you can hear me. So I can't do this at the same time and check, unfortunately. But yeah, this is a very sick individual. It's an understatement. It's an understatement. I'm trying to watch my language, but with this, I don't know how much I'm going to read, but I did save it for the end. Trigger warning. We're starting to get into the documents, the affidavit and the documents that say things that you can't unhear. And when I say things that you can't unhear, people criticize me for it, for trying to dull it down. So I guess people want to hear me say fuck and shit and all kinds of other words. I don't know why. I try to be respectful and I get people criticizing. So either way, you're never going to make everybody happy. So I'm going to do the best I can, guys. So there is it's an emergency warrant request cover sheet. So that's just a cover sheet and I can read it if you want. Officers of Kissimmee Police Department are waiting to immediately, directly, instantly, and I don't know what that says, once without a delay, proceed on the search warrant arrest. Okay, so they obviously a search warrant / arrest warrant, probably for his phone, his place, everything else, in compliance with the 9th Judicial Circuit's warrant signing procedure. It's a cover sheet basically for what's to come. The Kissimmee Police Department recognizes that it's an emergency and an unforeseen combination of circumstances that calls for immediate action, and that law enforcement should seek emergency, this is great, duty judge intervention only in rare and extreme circumstances where the law or totality of the circumstances requires immediate action, and it must appear that urgent circumstances are present and the lack of immediate action would result in lack of evidence and imminent escape of a suspect. Now, the reason they do this is an emergency search warrant. Remember, he accidentally did a hard reset on his phone, everybody. That they recovered a bunch of things. Luckily, the cloud backed stuff up, and don't ever think that you're going to get away with something just because you do that. But they want to make sure that if the mom was involved, she didn't go get rid of stuff for him. If he had already done that, they needed to get that, because sometimes a search warrant can take a while, and that sucks. So sorry about that. We're not going to show you the location. You don't see that. I'm not going to talk about it. No. Let me zoom out. They gave me the location, but you guys can't see that, right? Nobody can see that. The suspect is known. Okay, so they gave me the location, and I'm out of there. I didn't talk about it. We're done with that one. Out of there, guys. Nobody saw that, right? Right. All right. Hope you guys are still here and listening to me talk about this. And because here comes the affidavit. I know Sadie's mama was waiting for that, and I've had it for a couple days, but I was afraid to put it up there. There's a lot of redactions, and there's things that I probably can't say. You might not want to hear me say, but you can kind of see it. As long as we don't show addresses or anything, then we're good. Okay, I'm glad there's still people here. I wanted to make sure we're still having bad weather, so making sure nothing cut out, or that I wasn't just talking to myself. I'm okay with talking to myself, but I wouldn't have to read it out loud. So it's a little blurry. Oh, there it goes. So it's the arrest warrant, affidavit for arrest, white male, date of birth 4/25/1986. We do not have the address. That is blurred out, so you can't see that. This guy, that was a little girl, guys. Little 13-year-old. I didn't even realize this guy was this piece of shit pedophile was 6'2" and 220 pounds compared to that little tiny girl. Wow. Black hair, brown eyes, no tattoos. What a pussy. Sorry. Love tattoos. He's a pussy though anyway. We're not going to talk about, of course, any of his personal information up there, but we are going to talk about the state of Florida and the county of Osceola. Digitally appears the affiant Detective Brian Moore, a sworn law enforcement officer, to witness an officer for Kissimmee Police Department who makes the affidavit and states under the oath of the affiant has probable cause to believe that certain laws have been violated in Osceola County, Florida, and that on between 3:20. Now listen to this. This is between 3:20. Don't get that fooled with 3:20 like the one coming up or the one before. This was the one before, 2 years before, 3:20 of 2022. They have probable cause to believe that he's been assaulting her since then. From 3/20/2022 to 12/3/2023, defendant Michael Sterns did violate Florida state statutes and commit the offenses of sexual battery and possession of material, which I told you earlier, that was sexual performance by child. They now know, and we all now know, the whole world knows that that material was of Madeline Soto. Okay, now we don't know. They didn't tell us if they found other material from other children or whatever, but this is what we know. Your affiant, Detective Bryant Moore, and we give the ID number again. None of that stuff. In court, it says your affiant, in the course of her official duties, has come to investigate. Okay, so on February 26, 2024, at approximately it says 2,000 hours, blank was reported missing by her mother. Now, we already know this is Madeline Soto was reported missing by her mother. The mother advised her daughter's stepfather, Stephan Sterns, picked her up. Now, here's in writing, everybody. Now we're hearing in writing, okay? The mother advised her daughter's stepfather, she calls him stepfather, Stephan Sterns, picked her up from home and dropped her off at Hunters Creek Middle School. Now, they give the school address. They didn't say anything about the church in the affidavit at all. They did not say anything about that. They said that, I read this again, that mother advised her daughter's stepfather, Stephan Sterns, picked her up from home and then dropped her off at Hunters Creek Middle School. And they give that in Orlando, Florida on February 26, 2024. The mother then went to pick up her daughter, Madeline Soto, from school at dismissal and learned she never showed up to school. An interview was conducted with the mother, Jen Soto, and Stephan Sterns, who advised he picked up and dropped her off in front of Peace United Methodist Preschool. They gave the address. I'm not going to talk about that. In Orlando, Florida, which was down the street from the school at 08:40 hours. Hunters Creek Middle School began at 9:30 hours. Police time, military time. A license plate reader captured Stephan's vehicle, or Stephan's, I think it's Stephan's vehicle with the Florida tag. I'm not going to give you that. Driving his vehicle that we know. During the interview with Stephan, he provided consent to search his phone. Oh boy. However, he said that he accidentally performed a factory reset on his phone that same day, February 26, 2024. When Madeline Soto went missing. So that's page 2 of 3. I'm going to keep going and see how much more I can get from this. After an extensive canvass of the area and interview with blanked out family and friends, it was unusual for Madeline Soto to be dropped off down the street from the school and not to stay in communication with family and friends. Upon reviewing the contents of Stephan, I keep wanting to say Stephan because I have a coworker named Stephan's phone, several images and videos were located that depicted, and we're going to say it's the sexual battery and sexual assault, nude photos, doing things with kids. And that was the focal point of the pictures and videos. The pictures and videos also depicted, and they blanked it out, and they say a vagina and mouth being penetrated by, and then it stops. It doesn't say anymore. So I can go to the next page and keep reading and check in with you all and make sure we still have people here. And yes, we do. I'm glad you didn't see anything. I'm going to keep reading it though, but I'm glad that nobody saw anybody's addresses, names, everything's redacted. And my chat's getting up. Everybody, I had at one point, everyone was, I had like 2 or 3 people and people dropped out and we're here. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. All right. Let's keep going. I'm not doing this for nothing. I'm doing this to bring awareness, and I want you to know the things that are out there and the real facts that happened and what is on the affidavit, what they actually said. I know it makes my stomach turn too, but I was hesitant about reading it, but I have to know the real deal about this. All right. So we're continuing with where we left off. Go. Okay, so during the interview, he provided consent to search it. We got that. I got the whole thing, guys. After an extensive canvass of the area, interviews and family, we got upon that. Okay, here we go. Trigger warning, please. Upon reviewing the contents of Stephan. I don't even care. I should just call him asshole. Upon the content of asshole's phone, several images and videos were located which depicted, and they blurred out the name of the person, but we now know it's Madeline Soto. All right. So I'll keep that name away, which depicted a person's breasts, vagina, and anal opening as a focal point to the picture videos. There were also pictures and videos depicting the person blanked out, vagina and mouth being penetrated by a penis. As such, the files depict the sexual performance of a child. Your affiant has probable cause to believe Stephan was in possession of the material depicting the sexual performance of a children, whatever. It should be noted that the penis observed that was penetrating the person had distinct marking on it, which was consistent with Stephan, and it consisted of bright pinkish colored skin below the head of the penis until approximately a quarter of the length down the shaft of the penis. Several other pictures capturing this distinct pattern were observed on the phone. Further, as your affiant was reviewing the pictures and videos, I was observing several different pieces of clothing to include pattern underwear, shirts, blankets, and sheets. A lot of stuff is blanked out here, and I'm assuming that they're saying whose sheets and blankets and an address and persons of interest that were involved in its name. Based on the totality of the circumstances, your affiant has probable cause to believe that Stephan committed a sexual battery and other assaults that they blocked out. We have the detective on there, and he swore to it that day of February 28th, 2024. Oh man, that was hard to read, y'all. I'm glad people dropped out because yeah, pattern underwear. People dropped out. Maybe that it was a trigger warning. I hope nobody I hope if you dropped out, you dropped out because you just didn't want to hear that. You're okay because this has been shared all over the news, and really I just want to make you aware of the actual real case and what's happening. So this is all over line. If you Google the affidavit, you'll be able to find it. It's on there. And yeah, some of them are not even redacted. So I'm not saying a lot of the things, but I mean, these are words that, we can turn on Fox and we can hear the same type of thing. So let's hope that, yeah, I'm going to continue doing, I've said trigger warning many times. And when you're in the true crime community, you kind of get used to this stuff. So it is a trigger warning, and people that are new to the channel or passing by and you hear me talking about that, you want to click off, please do. I'm giving you a trigger warning. I hate to say, and it sucks that you can get used to this kind of stuff, but unfortunately, I'm used to this type of language and these things and knowing about it. I've just studied it so long, and of course it gets to me, but it's true crime, everybody. It's real life, and it's sad and it's unfortunate. So if you can't handle it, please just don't listen anymore, because yeah, I'm going to continue and finish this. All right, everybody, this is good here because you could see this piece of shit. That's what we're going to call him. Let's see if I can zoom in. Want to zoom in because we want to see his ugly face and his arrest warrant. Let me see what you guys can see. Okay, good. You guys can see enough here. Wow, I can believe I've already been on for an hour and a half. I hope you guys are finding this useful and I'm not just blabbering. I hope that I'm bringing you good content that gives a different perspective on it that everybody else hasn't seen, and I'm not doing the same things. I'm really trying to create something different and also a different community here and give you the real deal, guys, because this is life. What does this say? Man, I bet it was tough for Ellie to see all. Oh, absolutely. Anthony, you don't even know these officers when they're giving interviews, these are grown men that have been doing this for 20, 30 years, and you can see tears in their eyes, and they can't unsee this. They go home at night and they have nightmares about it, and probably PTSD. It probably affects their relationships with their wives and a lot of things. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not a police officer or anything by any means, not close. For some reason, I've been asked that twice this month. I don't know why. Not even close, y'all. Not even close. If I was, I'd tell you. I'd have a channel and say, hey, this is guilty of crime, and I'm a police officer. I've been doing it for 25 years. But no, I'm not. But I'm just trying to bring you good content. All right. So you can see here their arrest warrant. Let's get finished with this. I've been on here for quite a while. And I have some Starbucks. Can I say that? I'm drinking that and getting through this. All right, so there's the arrest warrant, and I love seeing arrest warrants with asshole pedophiles being arrested. Although I don't, I this case hurts my soul, and that's why I keep coming back to it. So, arrest warrant, Circuit Court, 9th Judicial District, Osceola County, Florida, state of Florida versus Stephan Michael Sterns, who's the defendant, Kissimmee Police Department agency. We have case numbers. You know what the good thing about this is, everybody? We can dig deeper into this as this goes, and as he didn't show up for the first hearing, so we didn't even get to see him. He's a coward. We all know that. I wonder how it's going to be for him in jail. I hope it's terrible. But the cool thing about this is we can dig deeper and possibly get information about this. Maybe somebody can write to him. When I say somebody, me, I could do the research and we could learn more about him, or even get the jail calls if we can. I know that's possible. We all know our friend Zav did that. And great job, by the way, Zav. I think you're the only channel out there that has them, and the first channel that got them. So I'm sure there's other people that took them, but you have them, you brought them out, and you did a great job. So these things here, though, when you have agencies and case numbers, this is how you are able to dig deeper and find out more. So if we want to know more later, we can. All right, everybody. We saw that this awful predator, pedo, is a white male, 6'2", 220 pounds, black hair, and brown eyes. All right, that's all the information we're going to see. We don't want to see his address or anything like that. All singular sheriffs, state of Florida, special agents, signature judge for Osceola County, Judicial Circuit Court. We can see all that. They blurred out some of the offenses here, but basically it's legal jargon is what I call it, because I'm never going to be a lawyer. I can't commit to school again. I have my degree already in graphic design, which is far from a police officer, everybody. Okay. So never ask me that again, please. All right. So sexual battery and possession of material of sexual performance by child. And we see it, signed date 28th day of, and I wanted to zoom in on it so you can see this monster and the judge signing it. That is my favorite part, everybody. So I think we're coming to an end here. I have one other thing I wanted to share. Does anyone else want to see any other thing? I have one clip. Love this lady, Pat Brown. She's a profiler, and it shows her. I like her intro because it shows when she's younger being I don't know if she was a police officer or what, but she's a profiler, and she's one of the top profilers. And I want to promote her channel because she's just awesome. She's just sitting there doing it from home. She's got her hair pulled back, and I wanted to you guys to hear her take and what she says about him, because she is a profiler. So thank you, Jackie. Thank you everybody that supported me, Carly, for being a moderator. I really do need a moderator, and I will need more soon. Just regular, not managing. Carly, we know you're the boss. You're the boss. So all right, let me show you that. I'm going to take this off. I hope you guys have enjoyed this so far. I know you're not enjoying it in the way that anyone would speak of enjoying it, because we don't enjoy any of this. It's heartbreaking, but I hope you enjoy hearing the real information and not just he said something, she said something, they said something, and speculation. Okay, let's listen. And then I'll close out, and maybe someone else will want to talk to me later online or collaborate with someone. Yes, thank you. Profiling with Pat Brown. Thank you for doing that. You're so awesome, Carly. If you ever come to California, I'm going to show you around and treat you really well and make sure you're taken care of. So always know, if you come out to California, both you and Greeno are welcome. And yeah, you guys have a friend here for sure. Show you really quick. And the reason I'm playing the beginning of it is because I want you to see. Yeah, she is the boss moderator. Honestly, I made her the managing moderator. So she's the boss. If she wanted to mess up something, she could. If she wanted to delete something, she could. But I trust her, and she's doing me a favor. So Carly is the boss. She's the boss of Greeno too. So All right. I want to show you the beginning, then we can see how much we can watch. It's not very long, but let's check this out. This lady is a boss too. Profiling with Pat Brown. We shared below. Watch her beginning. It's cool. I don't think I shared it. Hold on, I didn't share it. I'll go back. Let me share it. I've been on here too. It's been a long day, everybody. I've been dealing with this roof thing. Oh, it's killing me. It's gonna be a lot of construction too, you guys. My roof had a leak and the roof took a dump and then it dumped into my ceiling and my ceiling fell in. So insurance is gonna cover most of it, but it's gonna be a whole bunch of construction going in my house. So yes, feel sorry for me. Here you go.
Hello, everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown. And I know a lot of you have been following the Madeline Soto, now murder. She went missing, and 4 days later, her body was found in Orlando, Florida. And this guy's been arrested. That is the 37-year-old Stephan Sterns, who is the boyfriend of Madeline's.
I just want you all to know I'm sharing this because she doesn't have that many followers, actually, surprisingly. And I'd love to get her up. She's just an amazing woman. That's why I showed you at the beginning, because you could see it. She was on the Ricky Lake show. She's been working with top profilers. I don't know how long ago she started her channel, but I was really surprised to I'll stay away from Discord. Yeah, Discord. Oh God, I'm gonna have to go back and read that. Discord scares me, y'all. I can have a whole conversation about that. I wanted to share that because I want to get her up there too, because she's amazing. She's an amazing lady. And the way she's presenting it is very casual, but I love her. So I'll comment on it. So I'm not just playing her video, but I want to promote her too. Pat Brown, if you see this, it gets back to you. I want to promote your channel. You're amazing. And you should have 100,000 followers.
Mother, and Madeline's mother is Jennifer Soto. He's been arrested. A very bad outcome, which was not unexpected. But fortunately, there's a lot of evidence that points to this. Well, I always call them piece of crap that this mother hooked up with and brought into the home of her daughter. This guy, he apparently had some interesting stuff on his phone, which I'm assuming is child pornography, concerned the police greatly. But he was supposed to be taking her to school. At least that's a story. And yet he was found dumping her backpack and her laptop in a trash can. And then she was seen in his car after he dumped those things, which is kind of unusual because he was supposed to be taking her to school. And why would he be dumping her things in the trash can if he was taking her to school? Oh, because he wasn't taking her to school, because although she was seen in the vehicle he was driving, she was not alive at that point. So yes, Madeline was in his car, but not alive. And the area that she was dumped in, apparently he was seen changing a tire and so forth. So a whole lot of stuff led to his arrest. But that's not the question people are asking me. People are asking me, did Jennifer Soto, the mother of Madeline, know that he killed her daughter? Did she know that? And nobody likes to think that. So, I'm reading one of the articles and it says, and then the police had to give the devastating news to.
Again, you saw the beginning. She has major credentials and she's an amazing woman, very casual. Now you can tell that she's just chill. She still knows what she's talking about, obviously, but it looks like she's just done a lot of work. So, what she says, I take I think highly of her and I take it to heart. So that's why we're listening to this. I'm reminding you all, and why I show a lot of videos and talk, but show videos, because I just love to show credible things. And that's what the things I like watching. So if that's what you like also, I will take watching these videos any day over watching a Dateline episode. I think Dateline would go out of business for me if I was the only viewer, because I'll pick YouTube.
The mom that her daughter was found dead.
Sorry, Dateline.
I don't think it was devastating news. It was because she already knew, absolutely, in my opinion as a profiler, she knew her daughter was dead.
Yes.
Already.
Thank you.
And why do I say that? All right.
Listen, folks.
Let me, there's a, I'm going to link in the description, this interview that she did. She was in the first part of the interview, and then Stephan Sterns, the creepy POS boyfriend, was in the other part of it. And his part of it is kind of interesting. He's like, oh, I feel so bad. He's this crocodile tear dude. And I mean, sure. He says, I dropped her off at school. Well, I didn't drop her off at school. I dropped her off near the school, and I should have, whatever. He comes up with a whole bunch of excuses for what he should have done, but he didn't. And therefore she walked away from his vehicle and somebody got her. Of course, we all know that's not true. We know that's not true. But here's the real interesting question. People say, well, clearly he is guilty. Okay, allegedly guilty. But what about mom? What did she know? So I'm watching her. I'm not going to get into a real deep statement analysis of all her behaviors and statements. But I was watching this video, and I got to, let me look at the exact point, 419. 419. Okay, so when you go to the video below, go to 419. This is where
okay, so there was a debate about this on another channel, and I'm not going to say which channel, but she's absolutely right. The debate that was going on was somebody that has a lot of followers and's been doing this case like every single day. If you guys can take a guess, take a guess. I'm not going to tell you, but she's debunking all of the what time and what. So listen to this. And, I have to stop every so often because I'm not just going to play her video. You can go to her channel and watch her video without my loud mouth. So
I just went, all right, she knew. So what she had this very bizarre behavior in this interview. She's shaking constantly. And although obviously if your daughter's missing and you don't know what's happened to her, you're going to be distraught. But I've never seen a parent shaking constantly like she's shaking. I believe the shaking was because she knew her daughter was dead. She knew who did it, which was her boyfriend, and she is shaking because she knows it's all going to come to it. It's all going to happen pretty soon that police are going to find out what's going on. She, in this interview, shake. She uses, a lot of times she said, we dropped her off.
Yeah, we all know about all
this. We
this.
did never drop her off. He dropped her off. Her boyfriend dropped her off. Oh, no. Oh, no, he didn't actually. See, this is a problem. So the claim is that she constantly says, we dropped her off at school. Like they're together dropping the child off. And since we know that Stephan was alone in the car with the body of her daughter, we know the two of them did not do so. Why is she protecting her boyfriend by saying they did this, they dropped the child off together? Because what she's trying to tell the police is, my child was alive when we dropped her off.
I think that's the number one key point I wanted to show you in this video. If anything, any involvement, I don't think that she touched the body or did any of the cleanup or anything, but she's protecting him. She knew what was going on, and that makes her culpable and liable and just as guilty. Again, innocent until proven guilty, but come on, we're waiting for the rest. Everybody is.
But then she wavers on that, and then she eventually doesn't go real well as far as we goes, because we never existed dropping that child off from school. And we never took that child out of the house even to go any place in the morning. You know where it comes down to? 419. Here's the creepiest thing ever. So mom says, the interviewer in this this little show, the reporter, asked her a question and she blew the answer. And I just thought, wow, thank you very much, reporter. Here, good job. The reporter said, when was the last time you saw, what was the last, no, he said, what was the last conversation you had with your daughter? And she said, it was after her birthday party.
Okay, this is it. Everybody listen closely. She said it was after the birthday party. And this is where it trips me up every time, how she changes the we and the they or whatever she says. I, we, they, him, whatever she said. That I understand that because a lot of times we tend to do that, but it's the when she says and then changing her story. And there are other written inconsistencies that the police are actually writing down and documenting, which leads me to believe that she knows what happened and she will be arrested soon. Listen.
That was the day before she was supposed to go to school and disappear. She said, after her birthday party, which she didn't go to, by the way, because she was too busy working and all that kind of stuff. She didn't go to the party. She said but she came home and I guess they had this wonderful chat about how happy the party was and how she loved her gifts and all that stuff. And then she says, which just blew my mind. And then we said, good night. Good night. That was the last conversation Jennifer Soto had with her daughter, Madeline. She said, good night. She never saw her after that. Oh, maybe she saw her, but she didn't have any conversations after that. So if she and her boyfriend took Madeline to school, are you telling me that they had no conversations that morning over clothing, breakfast, getting in the car, driving to school? There were zero conversations? Of course, that's not. Nonsense. She had no conversations with her daughter after that night.
Yeah, I was muted. Sorry about that. Biggest thing, what I was saying is the inconsistency about her saying she had said goodnight and that was the last time she talked to her is a huge red flag when she tells the cops that she saw her the next morning and she gives a description of the clothing, but the clothing doesn't even match anyway, but she says she's wearing some kind of flower sweater or something like that. Yeah, I'm back on now. Thanks, Carly. Thanks for laughing at me. I'll put your laugh up there so you can get on there. I got to keep it going. All right.
Said good night. And her daughter, at that point, at some point after that, her daughter was murdered. Her boyfriend then takes her daughter, puts her body in the car, takes her items, her laptop and her backpack as to fake dropping Madeline off at school. And he dumps her body and her items.
Here we are.
To try to pretend that Madeline went to school and then went missing.
You hear this?
Missing on the way to school because he didn't know how to drop her in front of the school.
This is what I was thinking.
Distance from the school so she could go missing.
This is why I'm showing her.
She knows that her daughter died before she went to school.
Pat Brown.
She knows her daughter never got into that car.
Experienced profiler. Fact she knows
that she is covering for her boyfriend. She's covering for the man who killed her daughter. Her boyfriend is more important to her than her daughter.
Agreed.
That's what I believe. And I've seen this story too many times where a mother She
Well,
wants
no.
that relationship so much. She
Yes.
wants to have
Nailed
that
it.
man in her life so much that she
Yes.
will sacrifice her daughter.
Absolutely.
If that happens, it's like too bad.
Yep.
Her daughter said she wanted to run away and go live in the woods, probably
Oh,
because
shit.
she was being molested and raped by this
Thank you for
garbage
saying that.
boyfriend of hers.
Very true.
Did she do anything about it? My answer to that is probably not.
No.
She was
She's not alive.
willing to stand. She was not willing to get rid of the boyfriend to save her daughter because she wanted what she had with her boyfriend. Her daughter gets murdered and she's still standing up for her boyfriend. She keeps saying, we got in the car. If you the last time you talked to your daughter was at night and your daughter disappears the next day and your boyfriend is the one who took her to school, immediately you would be suspicious. You wouldn't be protecting him unless you want to protect him.
Everybody, if you're coming in just now or you're coming out, just know that this lady, Pat Brown, is a profiler, a criminal profiler, and she has a really good history, a really good resume, and she knows her stuff. So please go over to her channel after and like and subscribe, watch her stuff. She has lots of credibility, and it's not just some lady that's telling you what she thinks by any means. If anyone has the knowledge to say this, if anyone has a right to say this, it's her. She's a criminal profiler and she's been doing this for a really long time.
Unless you're okay with protecting him because you're more interested in keeping him safe from the police, hoping that police don't hone in on him or you. You're more concerned about the two of you than you ever were concerned about your daughter. Yeah, so that's what I think of Mom. They'll have to, I don't know what's going to happen in a court of law, whether they'll charge her with accessory after the fact. In other words, you knew what happened and you still tried to cover for your boyfriend. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
See, I don't know what they're going to do either because I don't know how much evidence that they have on the cell phones. They recovered. So obviously they have Stephan's. That's said and done. We're talking about the mom now. The daughter, they have the daughter's cell phone. I wonder how much of it they wiped, and they must have the mom's. Do you think? What do you think? Actually, I don't know. I'm speculating now. I'm speculating that they have the moms because she hasn't been charged with anything. She's still sitting at home or maybe going to her crappy job. And I'm saying that because I'm just not a fan and I don't believe her. And she didn't protect her daughter and she's not helping now. So I wonder if, they all have back and forth. There's 3 of them. All 3 of them had to have been sending text messages back and forth to each other. So like Pat Brown says, and I'm going to say like she says, what's going to happen next? We're almost done, and then I'll say goodnight.
But I 100% hope that she goes down with him. She brought this creep into the house. She had a normal daughter, and she brought this guy in who clearly had issues. Now, you could say that she had no clue. But by the time that morning came and he took her to school and she started saying, we took her to school and covering for this guy. I'm done.
Me too.
I'm sorry.
Me too. Sorry.
I feel very badly for Madeline that she had you as a mother.
Agreed.
I don't feel sorry for her at all. I hope to put both of you.
I wanted to feel sorry for her at the beginning, everybody. I really did.
So anyway, that was the question you all asked me about, and that's my answer. If you're new to the channel, hey, please subscribe to the channel. Check out all my cases I've.
All right. Yeah, check out her channel, everybody. She deserves a lot more people on that channel. She really is a great lady that's had a lot of experience, and she knows what she's talking about for sure. When she says something, there's credibility to it. And I'm new, and as you get to know me more, you'll see that I'm credible with what I'm saying. I'm knowledgeable because I've studied it. I have experience with a lot of things that people don't know yet that are more to come. So please, everybody that has been here, pass through, like, subscribe, share. Let's talk, tell your friends, whatever you do. Let's help this channel grow, please, just for the awareness. I did put up my Cash App. I put my Cash App tag. I have Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. Eventually, I would like to have funding to go out and do searches, and that would be wholly funded through this channel if and when that ever happens. And I'm one of the people that is the power of attraction, so I'm going to say when that is made possible, I would be happy to do that and pay for anything else that you all want to see on this channel with that funding. I'll be very transparent on what I receive and how it's being used. I work. I'm not asking for money for anything else, but if anybody wants to, let's first get me monetized, okay? Let's get my hours up so I could be out there and spread awareness, collaborate with people, and let's help find missing people and bring awareness to unsolved cases, talk about the cases that have been solved. I'm going to finish my serial killer top 10. I'm going to play my outro now. I love every single one of you. Please watch my outro. I want to show you it's fairly new. I think this is the second time I've gotten to play it. So watch my outro, and I will see every one of you very, very soon. Jay with Guilty of Crime. Thank you so much.
Guilty of Crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of Crime.
Are you guilty?